Just wanting to record for you guys a demo introduction for Xero. If you're watching this, you're obviously one of our new clients who are new to learning Xero. So hopefully you can, hopefully you'll find this video informative and you can get something out of it. And if at the end you don't quite understand something or want to know a little bit more about that topic, feel free to email me or call me. So let's get stuck into it. So we're using a demo company today. So as you can see, all the figures in here, they're just made up figures. So if it was your company, that your name would be up in the corner here. Alright, so when you log in, this is the screen you're going to see straight away. So the dashboard here, that has your bank account or bank accounts if you've got two different bank accounts. And you can add, you can go into a chart of accounts and add in what you call accounts to watch. If you want to keep an eye on any particular accounts, they can appear right in front of you when you log in. This section here, it says you can see invoices or money that's owed to you versus money that you need to pay. So that also gives you a good snapshot of where your business is at and the position you're currently in. So let's just go through. We'll start off with some basic settings. So if you want to invite other people, other users to your organization that you want to help manage your Xero account, this is where you need to go. So you would click on users. Then in here, this is a demo company, so we actually can't click add a new user, but you would normally get the option in this section to add a new user or manage users, and then you can alter people's access as well. So let's just go back to the settings. This is where you can edit your organization details as well. So if we've entered something incorrectly upon setting it up, which obviously shouldn't happen, but if we have, this is where you can change all that information. So name, legal trading name, business number, type of organization, your address, and so on. And if you do make any changes, just make sure you hit the save button at the end there. Let's go back to settings, just see if there's anything else I need to show you in this area. Currencies, that would only apply to you if you use multiple currencies in your business. So if you trade in US dollars or something different, that's where you can manage it in there. Connected apps, that would be good, if you're using any other apps that enhance Xero. So if you're a restaurant owner and you've got a food service app, that's where you could manage it. Or if you've got a CRM or anything like that, you can manage the apps in there that are linked to Xero. Other things you might need to look at in here is invoice settings. So if you, not all our clients send invoices, but if you do happen to send out invoices, this is where you can edit how they appear, and you can create specific invoices for different things. So as you can see here, they've got a standard invoice that they send to most people, and then they've got a special projects one, which is going to be for a service or a product that's a little bit different. Alright, so if you go there, you can just edit all the details in there. You can change the logo. They're quite customizable. So you can see all the details in there. So it might be worth just having a look and having a play around in there if you do send invoices. Let's go back to settings again. Payment services. This might not work for a demo company. But yeah, if you've got PayPal or ZipPay or IntegraPay or any of those services set up in here, that's where you can manage those and activate those. Email settings. This can actually be quite helpful if you want to send out, uh, like if we send you an invoice, it comes via Xero through an email. You can actually create different templates. So you might have a sales template, you might have a sales for direct debit template, you might have templates for overdue invoices, that kind of thing. So you don't have to go in here, but it can be helpful if you want to systemize things and not like it allows you not to have to edit the invoice or edit the email every time you send it. You can just create a whole heap in here and then just select it when you send out an invoice or a payment reminder. And yeah, we'll get to that when we go through creating an invoice and sending invoices and emails. Back to settings again. Now payroll settings. I won't go into that in this video because that only applies to probably 30% of our clients who have payroll. I have made a specific video which you can find on our YouTube channel, which talks about payroll settings. So yeah, check that one out if you do have payroll. Expenses, we don't normally go into that either. Don't worry about expenses. Like that is only good if you've got like say employees that spend money and they make expense claims. So it's very, very rare. Otherwise, anything you spend on the business with your own personal money, we'd normally put that in as a bill and then you would mark it as paid from your drawings account. And custom contact links, I've never used that before either. Xero to Xero, that can be handy if you've got other clients or customers that have Xero and then you send them an invoice and it automatically gets input into their Xero. You don't have to type in anything. And vice versa. If someone else is on Xero and they send you an invoice to pay, it gets entered in automatically into your bills. Alright, so let's go back to dashboard. Go back to that original screen. Alright, so one really important thing with Xero is if you see this reconcile 26 items here, that just means there's some transactions that need to be married up to invoices. So yours will look something like this. Alright, so for example, this one here, 28th of March, Trust and Property Management. So you have spent $1,181.25. As you can see here, this has actually already been entered in as a payment or an invoice that has been paid, which is why it goes green and it marries up. So let's check this out. Alright, so that's the payment that we're looking at. We can go even further in and actually look at the invoice that was input into Xero. Alright, so because all of that matches up, it's been marked as paid. Not that that matters, you don't have to mark it as paid for it to go green. As long as the amounts match, it will go green, and all you have to do is click OK. And then it goes. It's reconciled, that's done. Alright, so for anything else that you haven't got, like that doesn't go green, that either means you need to create an invoice in Xero, and I'll show you how to do that. When I say create an invoice, which is actually create a bill to pay um, for these spent items. You can, if if it is something really simple like bakery, you can just type it in here. So you type in Cooper Street Bakery. What was it for? You bought food, but let's say you were traveling to a business meeting, so you might put that under Travel National. And all these accounts, they're for your reference, so you can track which areas you're spending in, or for sales, which areas you are receiving the most revenue in. So food for business, travel, and then you just click OK. Another option to do this is you can also use the Xero mobile app, which is really cool for these little things where you might get the receipt and then you can literally just take a photo of it, enter in all the details similar to what we've done here, and just upload it. And then once that's done, that would automatically go green like we saw before. But yeah, for this example, if you don't have the receipt, a good way to do it is to just type in the details there, click OK, and you're done. Um, Something to be careful of is if it was like, let's say it's Woolworths, like a Woolworths receipt, and you've got a few different items on there. If some items might have GST and some might not have GST, if that's the case, instead of just entering in just the one thing, you would go add details, and then you would add in each individual line. So water, for example, you might have got one water at $2, same account, but that one doesn't have GST, so we'd mark that as GST free expenses. Alright, so if you don't want to type in each individual item, it's totally up to you. If you feel like you need to keep track of the individual items, you can. If not, just group the items that have GST and the items that don't. So just say GST items, like type in GST items, and then type in GST free items. GST on expenses, GST free expenses, and as long as that amount matches up, like I said before, that would go green. But for this example, we'll just reconcile it as the original one that we wrote out, which has disappeared. There we go. So click on create and then OK. And then that would work like that. You can, if you do have like regular payments coming out, you can create a rule. So that's what that one looks like there. Let's see if I can show you how to create a rule. So to create a rule, you'd go up to the top here, go manage account, hit bank rules. Create rule. You can do it for either or, spend money or receive money. So spend money, this might be good if you've got like software subscription payments that come out on a monthly basis. So you just got to go through the steps here. So when money spent on the bank account statement matches all or any. So we could go all. Any text field contains, you might have an Adobe subscription for software. The contact will be Adobe. So this kind of automatically creates a little mini invoice. Subscriptions. So yeah, Adobe subscriptions. Set the reference. You can leave that blank. You can run it on all bank accounts or from the one that it comes out of. Another condition could be the amount. That's another good trigger. So it might be $50 that the amount is, and then you go save, and then every time that money comes out, that will automatically look like what I showed you before, which is just in here. And it would look like that. And then all you have to do is click OK. So the same goes for money received. If you've created an invoice um, that you've sent out to someone, that would automatically go green. If you're on like a cashbook only subscription, you could just do name, bakery, Cooper Street Bakery, paid us, and it was for, this is a demo company, so it's only sales, so you might want to split up your sales into different categories as well. But if you want to do that, just let us know and we can create the new accounts for you to make sure that they're okay. Sale of machinery. You just click OK. If you're on, yeah, that's what you do if you're on a cashbook only subscription. Otherwise, if you do invoicing, you would have already done an invoice and that would go green. There's also another thing, another more advanced way in another video that I've made, how to bulk reconcile, or if you've paid for, say, 3 invoices in the one payment. I basically just explained how to make a bulk payment, or a batch payment, I think it's called in Xero. So you can find that on our other videos in YouTube. Right, so as far as reconciling goes, that is basically all you need to know. Alright, so I'll just run through how to create a sales invoice. If you have a subscription that you can send out invoices for. So these are pretty basic. So you've got 2 options here, new invoice or new repeating invoice. So we'll just go new invoice for this example. I'll just use the bakery as an example again. Invoice date, the due date, that could be a week, it could be net 30. That's totally up to you. The invoice number is normally generated automatically. It would usually look something like this. The reference, that you can leave blank, or if you want to put something in there, it's totally up to you. We leave ours blank normally. If we're doing, say, an audit for another accounting firm, you might put that accounting firm in the reference and then the actual name of the super fund in the description. That's an example of what you could do for that. So bakery sales. So you just go through this. So you'd say the description of what you're selling. You might have multiple items. So if you're selling t-shirts, it could be black t-shirts, white t-shirts, purple t-shirts, how many you've sold, the unit price, and then of course the account. So you might have a few different accounts. So this is sales, other revenue. So that might be something sort of unrelated to what you normally sell. So sales, if you are GST registered, that would be GST on income. If you're not GST, it would be BAS excluded, and that should come up automatically. And then tax are either inclusive or exclusive. If we've set up the file, I normally make it inclusive, but just double check that that the total amount is actually what you have told your clients. Otherwise, if it's set to exclusive, it's going to add on an extra $5 at the end of the day. And you just go approve. And then we'd normally send that to our client. We hit email. If you've entered their contact details incorrectly from the start, their email should automatically come up. This is here. This is what the email templates I was talking about earlier. So this is where you can drop that down and then select what template you want. So if the invoice is overdue, you could hit overdue reminder and then send. Same as if we go back to edit, you can change the branding theme of the invoice, and that was in the settings that I showed you earlier as well, where you can change what branding you want for that invoice. Alright. Now, generally for sales invoice, you don't need to say payment received, whatever. But if you know for sure they have paid, sometimes you might want to mark that as paid and add payment, but you don't need to do that in order to reconcile it from the bank account in the dashboard. So that should be it for creating a sales invoice. I'll just quickly show you one other option. If you send invoices regularly, you can also create a repeating invoice. So repeat this transaction every month. You can change that to 3 months or weekly or yearly, and then just go through the same thing as before. Bills to pay. So this is where you'd enter in all your supply invoices and your expenses. So once again, new bill. You can enter in bills that happen regularly, just like the sales one that I showed you before. New bill. So this is where we would type who it's from, date, due date of the bill, invoice amount, and once again, you just literally copy what the bill says. So description, quantity, unit price, the account, whatever the expense account might be, what it pertains to that particular item that you've purchased. And then you just hit approve. You can also send the invoices to Xero if you want to attach the invoice to the bill. So the way you find that is if we go up to the top left here, go files, and you can see this is your private Xero email address. So if you've received an invoice via PDF, you can hit forward and just send it to this email, and then that will upload into this file inbox. And then when you're creating your bill, you can hit this little piece of paper here, add file from library, and then that would appear in there. That's a really good habit to get into because it saves that invoice with the bill in Xero. So it just keeps everything together. So expense claims you don't need to worry about. If you've got a bill or an expense that you need to pay yourself back for, enter it in as a bill. And then I'm just going to go through this so you can see. So I'm just going to show you how to mark it as paid. So if you've paid for it from your personal account, you can go make a payment, date paid today, and it paid from, you would say it's paid from your um, owner funds introduced. So for us, it would be capital contributed, and it would have your name, or might be like beneficiary one or a director one. Um, yeah, if you've purchased something yourself and you want to put it through the business. Alternatively, if you've purchased something through the business that's for personal, you would do it as a drawing. So you would select that account and go add payment. And that would be that. And that's pretty much all you need to know in regards to sales invoices and purchase, like in bills to pay. If you order a lot of items, you can do purchase orders, and then um, you send that purchase order to your supplier. I'm just going to open up a demo one here. So you'd send this off to your supplier as a purchase order. Once you've done that and you've got an invoice, you can mark it as billed, and then you just want to tick copy purchase order to a draft bill, and then that creates a bill as per what I just showed you before. So the next step is just looking at some report. So let's just start with a profit and loss. So accounting profit and loss. Alright, so you can change the date range and select, whatever you want to look at. Alright, so this gives you a little snapshot on how your business is performing. So all your income and revenue, less the cost of your sales. So that gives you a gross profit. It's adding in other income. Quite often we put this at the top because it's still a form of income, but that might be something totally unrelated to your regular stream of income. And then all your expenses, and then it shows you your performance or your position at the moment. And you can adjust the dates. March to April, and then that's going to change. Alright, so that's really handy to look at. You want to be checking that, all the time, as often as you can, just to see where you're at. So the next one I want to show you is a balance sheet. So this is similar to a profit and loss, but it's just more detailed. So it shows you assets and liabilities as well, and all your GST and money that you owe to the ATO. Let's just update this so we can see some data here. So this more shows you what your business is worth and where your position is as per that date that we've set. So it just gives you a little bit more detail. So money in the bank, assets, different types of assets, different liabilities, and equity. All right, so that's another useful tool. You want to be checking that regularly as well. All right, well, lastly is the activity statement. If you've missed anything, if I'm going too quickly, just feel free to rewind the video and just go back to check what I've just clicked on. So for this one, we've just gone accounting activity statement. If you want to see all reports, this is the stuff that's starred. So that's all automatically done, but you can change this in your reports and have different ones come up, um, or your favorite reports. Right, so the first activity, the first activity statement that you will do, you'll get this up. So you want it to be simpler BAS. If you've got GST, that would normally be calculated as quarterly. If we've set up your Xero file, you want that to be cash. If you have employees, it would normally be quarterly. If you don't, that would be set to none. The PAYG income tax is if you're an established company, and a sole trader. Usually, trusts or new businesses don't have PAYG income tax, but um, yeah, your accountant can explain that a little bit more to you. So just for this exercise, we're just going to leave it as none. Alright, so if you've got, this is normally left as unticked as well. If you're in like earth moving or machinery or mining, sometimes you might need fuel tax credits ticked. But just for this, we're going to leave it as none because that is, 90% of our clients. And just hit save. Alright, so we can get started now with doing a BAS. So let's do our March activity statement. Alright, so providing you have reconciled everything in the dashboard in the bank account, this data it all like inputs automatically. Alright, so you can see here though that the PAYG total salary wages is actually empty. That is due to a problem in the payroll settings. Alright. Normally that would import automatically. If you don't have payroll or any employees, that whole area wouldn't be there. Alright, so I'm just going to quickly jump into payroll settings just to show you what might have gone wrong if that is empty. So settings, payroll settings. Sorry, my internet's slow. I'm using a hotspot today. Alright, so we want to go to pay items. And then, as you can see here, ordinary hours reportable as W1 is actually unticked. So we go edit. And we just want that reportable on activity statement. And save. Now let's just refresh this. And the data should move across. Yeah, so So see, it's automatically been imported in. So that's that for that. So all you have to do is hit finalize. Finalize it. That doesn't actually submit it to the ATO. So at that point, we can either submit it, or you would fill out a paper form, or you would submit it through your business portal, which is the most common way our clients submit their BAS. Alright, so that's finalised. So yeah, all you have to do now is just go to your business portal, notify us that it's done, or fill out the paper type form. If you have missed anything or made a mistake, you can always go delete, and that just all that does is it just undoes what you've already done there. Alright, so that's probably all you need to know in that area. Payroll, I haven't made. There's a couple payroll videos that I've already made. I am going to make some more, so check out our YouTube channel for more payroll videos. Um, yeah, you'll find someone there at the moment, and yeah, hopefully by the time you're watching this video, there will be heaps more up there. So I'll go into that because that's only, like I said earlier, 40% of our clients that have payroll. Projects doesn't normally get used much either, and contacts is just um, a list of your customers or suppliers. So if you've got contact details of a customer or supplier, this is where you'd enter it in. And any of the ones you're entering from the dashboard, like 7-Eleven or the Cooper Street Bakery, they all go in here regardless of whether you've got phone numbers or emails or anything like that. So you go add contact, and you literally just fill out all this information. So it's a good little way. It's a good way to keep your contacts and have a little phone book in there. Um, I don't think I've missed anything. I think that is it. So, like I said, that is basically what we run through with all our new Xero clients. So, if you've got any questions, please do let me know, and yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have, or if you still want to come in and see me, and yeah, run through things again. Yeah, let me know. I'm happy to do that. And yeah, if you've missed anything or if I went a little bit too fast, yeah, just if you just rewind it and go over it again, yeah, hopefully that'll help, and hopefully it'll help it sink in. So thanks for you taking the time to watch this, and I hope it's been really helpful. Thanks.